Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween! Hi guys. Everything
Hi
okay?
everyone.
Hi Dave. Hi Dawn. Dawn will be joining us today too because we have a little surprise for you all the way at the end of this live stream. So please stay tuned. Thank you, Julie. So how was your Halloween, or are you still going out, or is it
Oh,
over?
it's over for me. It's Monday morning. I'm not feeling too flash, so
Yeah, I heard. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
that's all right. So I just thought I'd just be here to support you. In a very
Thank you.
supporting role. I'll sit back. I'll definitely do everything I can not to interrupt you. But I just want to know that everybody out there, I definitely appreciate everybody's support that you're getting. Today's live
Yes,
stream
thank you.
is going to be epic. It truly is, and uh, people are going to shake their heads and go, "Wow!" It is. All of these timeline videos so far have had that wow factor, and today is definitely no different. Congratulations and great work, my friend.
Thank you. I mean, this one was a especially difficult one for me. And as you guys know, if I put my head into something, I can't sleep until I got my answer. And I think I got my answer. Today I was sending Dave a message saying, F,
Lots of
I was wrong.
them.
And then half an hour later, why? What's up? And I said, nah, disregard, I was right. So this is debunking myself all the way through, basically. So what I did was working on this for the last 3-4 days. This is going to be loads and loads and loads and loads of data, phone, router logs, Geotab, all that stuff. Not so much into detail of the discovery, like of the timeline of the discovery, because I wanted you guys to see that first. I'll be doing a chapter 2 on the aftermath timeline part 3, because it's just so overwhelmingly much that I couldn't. Now I get all these messages. Sorry. I couldn't put everything in one stream. And after the 4-hour live stream last week, I was thinking, okay, this is getting too much and our brains just wouldn't absorb it anymore. So I keep this nice and short, maybe an hour or two. And yeah, I hope you a timeline book. That's a good idea, actually. Good idea. I would have to ask if I can use certain information though, but that's definitely a good idea. Yeah, like I said, very difficult one for me, and I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I did not say hi to everyone personally today, simply because it's already midnight over here. I'm up since 5 a.m. this morning, and I didn't want to make this too long. Okay, so I love you guys, everybody who's joining me. Thank you for all the new members that have joined my channel over the past week. A little shout out to the members. When we get to the part of the timeline where we're doing the autopsies, this will be a members only due to the content. So, yeah, just so you know. Alrighty. Dave, anything you want to add before I dive into this?
um, just a couple of things. I just want people to realise it's very difficult to take in the data
Mhm.
um, as you're
Thank you,
watching it live,
Goldilocks.
and it's very difficult to actually take it all in. And I think some people, I would highly recommend that you come back and watch this video again afterwards at some
Mhm.
stage. It's very difficult to take in, but once you get you see that wow factor and you actually see, oh my God, that's what they were actually talking about, you will truly understand the work that's gone into this. It's actually quite massive what comes out today.
Mhm.
And TJ has actually worked very hard, as have I, as has Don. We've all
I mean,
been
it's
working in the
it's
background, and
it's not really news, to be honest. I did numerous videos about the phone logs and routers and stuff like that. But in
but
that
it's coming
order,
together.
it all comes together. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly.
Absolutely. Don?
I'm happy to be on this channel as I am on this channel. And what can I say? You have the best subscriber there are on the internet. Sometimes
John,
when
your
people
audio is very bad. It was so good just 5 minutes ago. And now it does make that squeaky noise. Thank you,
really
Rachel.
now it is okay.
How do you hear it, Dave?
Um, is his mouth,
Pretty bad.
are you too far from the microphone? Or maybe if you
No,
go a bit
no,
closer to the microphone, maybe?
I'm just close to the microphone. It's 5 centimeters to my mouth.
Okay. Alrighty. I'll send you a message in a moment once we start, and you should be able to alter it within StreamYard itself. I'll send you a message and let you know how to fix that while and you don't have to disappear off the live stream. Well, there'll be a way of fixing this. So, alrighty.
Thank you.
Tanya, I'll leave it with you.
Yes, please help Don to
I
fix
will.
that.
I will. I certainly will.
All right. So disappear. Bye 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 bye
I'm out of here.
bye. Okay. I'm just gonna turn my camera off just for, Wi-Fi reasons. It always works better when the camera is off. I'm gonna be sharing my screen with you like always. So this is what we're gonna do today. The timeline of death, the aftermath. Oops. What was that? Yeah. I threw myself out. All right, it's not gonna be, many slides I prepared, just over 50. Not like 200 or 160 like the last time. But yeah, it's getting into your brain. So just a little recap. We did the 12th and the 13th until Chris Watts got home at 2:07 p.m. and 44 seconds. And this is where I ended the last live stream of the timeline. And we're going to continue with August the 13th today and get right into this. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. This is, I thought, guys, everybody knows that her friends were concerned and that they sent messages back and forth. So this is nothing I would suggest, or I would say, I mean, it is interesting, don't get me wrong, but, we saw this a million times a million. And yeah, so I just put the screenshot of the discovery where it starts at 2:11 p.m. with what's sent another staged message to Shannon's phone. Where are you? Here again, the ridiculous statements of the so-called technician. I'd like to blur that out, but that's a screenshot. I was too lazy to type that all up. So yeah, what it should say is what sent another message to Shannon's phone. Leave that staged out because, at this point you don't know. And at 2:14, messages from Utoft, that's Nicole Atkinson, before she was married, were finally received by Shannon's phone. And to the right, you see a screenshot of the router log. I adjusted the times. It was 2 hours ahead. I already adjusted the times for you. So it is 2:14, just like the discovery states. Her phone connects to the router once it's turned on. Sometimes this happens, like you see here in that little screenshot. It's 214.17, 214.17 and then 214.18. This is just like a tag or a handshake, just to make sure, the network makes sure, yeah, this is a known device, so let me in, basically. Nothing other than, as you know from the phone towers, when they do their little handshakes, the devices also communicate with your network. So then at 2:26, what's told Christina, the police are here, and Madame is doing some phone calls to that 970 number. We don't know who that is. I mean, we do know, but we're not going to make it public. I don't think this person has anything to do with this case. The reason, for everybody who's watching for the first time today, the reason I black out numbers is because in her phone bills from August until August the 14th are not publicly available anymore. You can find them on the internet. Just look for it. Type in if you're interested in whose number she is calling or who she's receiving calls from, but you don't get it on my channel. So then to the right here again, you see that Chris Watts is logging in with his personal phone, his work phone, work phone, just around those times. What else is interesting? This is a little screenshot of his actual Anadarko phone logs. They left that completely out. He called Chad McNeil at 3:23 p.m. So nobody said anything about the 3:23 p.m. phone call to Chad McNeil. And I think that was for a minute or something. He called him. I can't remember. Something along those lines. So then at 3:48, Eddie told the group the police need to look at Chris's cell and computer. And as you can see, this was extracted from Shanann's phone. Shanann's phone is item number 42. Chris Watts's personal phone is item number 41. And later on, you can see his work phone is item number 40. I just repeat that for the people who tune in to my channel for the first time and might have not heard of this. So then at 3:52 p.m., she is in Brighton, already at home or on her way home, and calls Jimbo for 6 minutes. Then we move on. Same thing basically here. So at 4:22, Kelly Berg asked what the police were saying, and he's texting. So Chris is texting back and forth with Kelly Berg, also a friend of Shanann. And here again, his phone logs. I did that on purpose because I'm gonna show you something really interesting in a minute. So he's logging in and out, in and out, in and out, even though he's at home. So at 4:26, the messages keep coming in. He's writing messages to her friends because they're obviously concerned about her. Then at 4:46, Madam is she receives a call. I gotta be careful, just to throw that in real quick. I gotta be careful what I say. Guys, I'm only human. And if you get messages, like bad messages and, telling you, oh, you said she received a phone call, but she didn't. She called, or the other way around. I mean, what's the problem? I'm only human. And is it really necessary to write me a hate email just because I made some errors? So no. I mean, if she called somebody or he called her, it doesn't make a difference. The call is there, right? So just wanted to put that out there. So please don't send me any. I'm only human, please don't send me any hate emails. I won't answer that anyway. So let's move on. At 5:01, Kissinger made 2 unanswered phone calls to Watts. They also registered here at 5:01 and at 5:02, and it got deleted. You see that right here. So at 5:05, Watts called Chase Bank and held a nearly 2-minute conversation. He called a separate number for Chase moments later and held a 2.5-minute conversation. So this was actually when police was saying, do you have access to your bank account? Please call the bank and check if there was any movement or if she withdrew money out of your bank account. And then he is like, yeah, I don't have access to my online banking and all that sorts of stuff. So what he does, he actually calls Chase Bank. I don't know if he went through. I mean, obviously he knew what was going on. So this call was for nothing. So then at 5:30, Watts made an unanswered call to Kissinger. So, and what's interesting here is you see her phone, that's her phone bill. So this call does not show up in her phone logs, right? So when she calls somebody and it goes to voicemail, it would say it went to voicemail. If somebody is calling her and it goes to her voicemail, it would have been registered as a 1-minute call. But this isn't for some strange reason, and I don't know why. So just so you know, that call does not show up in her phone bill. So then at 5:48, unaware of events, Meadows asked if Watts drove by the 6508 Saratoga address, completely aware of events. Here again, the freaking technician. He doesn't know at this point in time. Watts still replied, just did, yep, that's the exact model. So Ann Meadows is their realtor, right? So then here again, at 6 p.m., nothing really impressive happens. Police is there all around, asking him questions, and you see all that stuff on the body cam. At 6 p.m., following suggestions by many, Watts searched Google for hospitals near his home. In less than 4 minutes, Watts called Good Samaritan Medical Center, St. Anthony North Health Campus, Longmont United Hospital, and UC Health in Broomfield. The average duration of these calls was 40 seconds. The longest was 69 seconds. Out of curiosity, and that's pretty good what he did here, out of curiosity, I called St. Anthony's. Without identifying myself, I asked if a Rollo Tomasi, who comes up with that name? Rollo Tomasi was a patient. It took
That name, sorry, that name actually comes out of Usual Suspects.
Is that a movie?
Yeah, The Usual Suspects starring Kevin Spacey. That's actually an actor's name. It's the a cast
Okay, I have no clue.
person's imaginary name in the show. That's why they use the name Rollo Tomasi.
Good for him. The person in the line did not know about Rollo Tomasi.
Correct. Okay.
It took 2 minutes to get my answer. I suspect Watts merely called each hospital to create a trail of that's way too small. Concocted concern and never actually spoke with anyone. Well, you don't know. Maybe at around the time you called, they were busy, and around the time he called, they weren't. So, yeah, I don't know why he's making these personal statements all the time. So then, according to Lauren Arnold, and we're also getting into her interview later on, not today, but in the timeline. According to Lauren Arnold, friend of Shanann, she arrived around 6 p.m. So she wasn't sure when she had that interview with Agent Sentner, but she was guessing around 6 p.m. At 8:23, again, Berg asked if Watts had any luck with the hospitals, and he said no luck at all. 6:30, the realtor asked Watts if Shanann was okay, noting that she has not taken part in their group text exchange about selling the house. And Watts replied she hasn't been around all day. It's very odd. Yeah, odd to say the least. 6:52, Watts told Samantha Paisley, aka Sam, I'm praying so hard. I'm sick to my stomach. Cops searched the house up and down and drilled me pretty hard. If he thinks that's drilling pretty hard, he never was drilled pretty hard. I have no idea where they could be. Sam asked why the police were drilling him. An hour later, Watts replied, they are just being thorough. They gotta do all the digging they can. I saw them this morning. Yeah, people are helping me search. You don't need to get on a plane. We have a lot of support here. So I don't know where Samantha lives, but yeah. So it's 7 p.m. Watts received a calendar notice titled Dinner with Shanann. Shanann had a similar entry, Dinner with Chris, but scheduled for an hour later. And here you see it, 7:35. He logs back in to his home router, even though he was at home. So this is quite interesting, you guys. I told you in the lives before on timeline part 2 that they tried a little bit to make it seem like premeditation. I know that premeditation can be, in a matter of seconds. But what they were trying to do, or what the technician was trying to do, was so obviously bad that, I just found it out. So here again, if everything was so bad between them, they obviously made a date for that day at 7 p.m. So they wanted to go out for dinner. So I'm not very sure if they did not. I mean, that they had problems, that's clear, right? But it also is clear that they basically talked about stuff after the ultrasound, and they were maybe slowly coming back together. That's why he probably says, I decided for my family. Who knows? Then the technician states something interesting, and I could not help it but put this little picture up here. The hour difference indicates she created the entry while in Arizona using that state's time zone. In my experience, iPhones fail to make the transition when traveling to other time zones after an event is entered in the device's calendar. And I put experience. You guys did not even have the software to extract data from Apple devices. So, what experience are we talking here? Right? What experience are we talking here? So, what happened was Chris Watts' phone was running on Eastern time. To compare dates and times better in the timelines of the different devices, they programmed the phone to be run on UTC -6. And you can see that in the discovery throughout. And I was told that's a good thing to do. And it does not change anything. It's just for their software program to basically, I don't know really how it works, but it's a good thing. So it's not a bad thing. So that's good. If that makes any sense, what I just said. So they converted, basically programmed the phone so it will be showing them the UTC -6 timeline instead of the Eastern timeline, if that makes sense. Okay, so then at 8:10 p.m., he's calling Luke, Apple, his boss, for 5 minutes, also not in the discovery. Then at 9:12, a line at the Frederick Police Department called Watts and held a 6-minute conversation. So I was wondering who called from Frederick Police and for what reason. That call was never taped. We only know about the call when he played phone tag while on his personal phone with MK. So he called Frederick Police Department or the FBI back on his work phone. So what was that call at 9:12 about? And it was never taped either, so we don't have any audio. That is really weird. If somebody of you guys know, maybe I missed something. I don't know, but I could not find this call and I was looking.
It's not
So,
there. It's
what?
definitely not there. It's definitely not there. That call. It does not appear anywhere in
No.
the discovery. Nowhere at all. Not in any file whatsoever.
No, not in the discovery, but I thought maybe I missed an audio or something
Yeah, that's what
in
I
the
look. I looked
discovery.
for that. It's not there.
It's not there. Okay.
Nope. And please
So,
add Don again when you get a chance.
oh, sorry.
It's okay. Beautiful.
Add him? Yeah, there you go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Um, Jody, thank you for joining. All right. So, Madam is calling him. No, he is calling Madam because before I get any hate emails at 9:48 for 50 minutes. Also, this call is not registered or not shown in the discovery timeline of something happened. Police driving around. Is not shown. I wonder why. They only say, oh, held a 51-minute conversation. But what about the call before that? 50 minutes, right? So that was left out in the discovery. Then, obviously, here at 11:09, Kessinger called Watts and held a 51-minute conversation. And I don't know, it doesn't state if she deleted it or he deleted it. It's his timeline number, it's his device number, but it just says deleted. So God knows who deleted it. All right. The router logs tell us someone is listening in. And I gotta tell you something. I was uploading a little video for this presentation. And it was all body cam footage, it's public domain. So what happened was it wasn't even uploaded like 100%. And I already got a copyright claim of that Lasso group. So then I sent them a message saying if they gonna do that one more time, I'm gonna sue them, and I mean it. So at the end, I'm not monetizing this video, right? But I don't want them to have 1 cent of my work. So what I did was I deleted that video altogether. What I then did was just taking screenshots with the timestamps of the body cam footage. So they cannot claim any copyright, even though it's not theirs to claim. It's public domain. I don't know what's up with that Lasso group fraudsters, but yeah, it is what it is. However, I took screenshots and I truly, truly hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say in the following slides. I put up the timestamps of the body cam. So if you guys want, just go back to the body cam footage and watch for yourself. I'm not going to put up the body cam footage here. Okay, so this is Chris Watts when he's coming home, right? This is when he's coming home. He's entering the garage at 2:08. And at 2:08, 30 seconds, his personal phone connects to the home router. So as you can see here, he's coming home. He gets something out of Shanann's Lexus. He disappears, shuts the door in front of their faces, and his phone connects to the router. His work phone, though, still did not connect to the router. So we only have his personal phone connecting here when he walks in. even though he has his work phone in his hands when he walks towards Officer Coonrod or Sergeant Coonrod now. Okay? So, is that for everybody understandable what I'm trying to say? His work phone did not connect to the home router, even though he walked in with his work phone in his hand, but his personal phone did connect. Everybody good with that? So
This
we
is
can.
going to be very important, everyone. Very important.
Okay, good. I'm just asking so specifically if everybody understands, because so many times there are, comments, and I have to explain over and over and over and over again, and then I just lose it because it's too much to explain. So that's why I want to make sure everybody does understand. Okay, thank you guys. So what he does next, I was asking myself, okay, why doesn't his phone connect to the router? This is very unusual. So then I thought, oh, maybe he has it in his truck. So I went through the other logs again, into the router logs, and I saw no. I went through the body cam and I saw he put it, after he was at Nate's, he put it on the kitchen counter. So something did not seem right. What he does here is very, very sneaky. And I came to the conclusion that somebody's listening in. So if you are going to the body cam footage at 2:30, you see him here on the phone. Okay? This is when his mom is calling. When Cindy is calling, asking for Shanann, right? And he says, well, the cops are here. Dave, can you please mute yourself? I hear that clicking all the time. Thank you. So 2:30, he's on the phone. Then here, 2:31 and 7 seconds, he just hung up with his mom. So his mom is no longer on the phone, if it was his mom. Okay? What you're seeing here then, he checks the phone again 25 seconds or 18 seconds later, and give it give or take 5 to 10 seconds, because all the devices, the body cam has not the exact same time as the router or his phone. So give it 5 to 10 seconds in difference. What he does here is he's checking back on the phone, and then you can actually see him hanging up. And this is exactly when his personal phone logs back into the router. So that means
His work phone.
no, his personal phone. His personal phone logs back
Yes,
into
sorry
the
to interrupt.
router. I don't know where I was now. So anyway, he hangs up, he checks back, and then you can actually see him clicking, pushing to hang up. And this is what happens. His phone then logs back into the router. So that indicates that he does that quite a lot. And his phone is reconnecting from the router into its own network when he's on the phone. And as soon as he hangs up, it's reconnecting to the router. And this is the reason why we see so many connecting and disconnecting, connecting and disconnecting, even though he's at home. So he's doing that quite a lot. That was example number 1. Then example number 2, same thing. The first time item 40, that's his work phone, connects to the router, indicates someone was listening in while all this happened. So at 2:35, so for 28 minutes, somebody was actually on the phone. Somebody was actually on his work phone, listening in until he hangs up the phone. So what he does here is the same thing. Sorry that his head is cut off like that, but I wanted to get the full screen. So at 2:32, he's on the phone, as you can see, but we don't hear him talking or saying, or we don't know who he's calling here, right? He might have just picked it up and, pretending to call somebody. So 2 minutes later, he's off the phone, as you can see here, talking to Officer Coonrod. Then they go in over to Nate's. And on his way to Nate's, he has the phone in his hands. You see here? He has the phone. He hangs up, not hanging up, but he has the phone and walks towards the exit to go to Nate's to watch the footage of Nate's camera. And then you can see here, while walking outside, he's checking back on his phone. And sorry, you guys, that I cannot show you the video, but he actually hangs up with whomever was on the phone. And this is when his work phone, for the first time, connects to the router. Right? So, who was listening in? Somebody was listening in. And I checked everything and I could not think of anything else other than that. Because I was wondering, why is he doing that? Like, why is the phone doing that? This must be something in his router not right, or do I have an error in my head? But no, and if you watch that body cam footage again, over and over again, these are just 3 examples. I'm gonna show you another example in a second. But he does that a lot, like a lot. Somebody's always listening in, then he checks back, and then he hangs up real quick. And this is exactly when his phones are connecting back to his home router. Dave, can you please mute yourself? Thank you. Here again, this is when he is at Nate's. Okay, just put that first one up. We think that he is actually texting. We think that. And he has a signal over at Nate's. He has a signal over on his drive. So that's not a problem. If you go to your neighbor's house and you check the networks, you will see yours appearing as well. So nothing unusual. But he does here text, with NK, this text message. Oh, that's absolutely ridiculous. They would freak out, talking about some unicorn cereal or whatever they're talking about. So severe that she had to delete that unicorn message, right? So he does that. He texts somebody and somebody's on the phone. 2:39. Then he gets real nervous, watching like an eagle into the TV screen. Still somebody on the phone. Then few seconds later, 20 something seconds, he checks back. Oh, and then he hangs up the phone. And this is when he connects back to his home router. So as you can see, he does that quite a lot. And somebody is always listening in. I mean, sometimes you might think, he's just not hanging up. But this is very, very weird that he's coming in with his work phone and his work phone does not connect to the router for 28 minutes. That indicates to me that somebody was on the phone, right? Is that understandable for everybody? Dave, did you want to say
Yeah,
anything?
there's a lot of people asking. They are a little bit confused. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and quickly explain it. What's happening is Chris Watts has walked in the house, and as he's arrived home, he's actually already on his work phone to someone else. He's actually already on the phone, and they already heard him
Someone is
walk
in the
up.
line.
The way it looks, he's walked up and met Officer Coonrod, and the person at the end, on the end of the line, can actually hear him meeting Officer Coonrod outside the garage door. So that's basically what's happening. That is why his work phone did not connect to the router as he walked in the door to the house, but his personal phone did. So what we're saying is every time he's on the phone, his phone is not connected to the router. But as soon as he hangs up, it reconnects. I hope that's the simplest way to explain it for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We have also to take into consideration also that the wireless is turned off on his phone.
Yeah, it is turned off as soon as he calls somebody or receives a call.
Correct, because he wouldn't have.
The
He has
phone,
got.
the phone connects into the phone provider's own network and reconnects to his home router once he hangs up.
Exactly.
So I hope that's simple enough for everybody, and I hope you all understand.
Yep. Elizabeth, he was texting NK at Nate's. So if he was texting NK, just to throw that out there, who else was on the phone? Listening. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we need any more proof. And my conclusion is Chris Watts did not act alone, period.
Mic drop.
Yeah, I found that so cute, that little minion. You see that 3 more times or 2 more times?
It's awesome. We will see it a few more times, won't we? Because it's actually quite epic. This.
Yeah, he did not act alone. My opinion after discovering this. So now it's getting really heavy, like the significant locations. And I was trying to wrap my head around this. And I think I know what is going on. Don said once to me they only give you breadcrumbs, but I think I made a whole loaf of bread out of this.
Yes.
I tried to explain it to myself and debunked myself like 25 times in a row. But we only have so much information. They don't give us everything. If I had all the data of his phone, I could tell you exactly to the second where he was and what he was doing. But there are bits and pieces missing. They're not giving us for a very obvious reason, right? So let's get into this. These are, and you can read all that in the discovery. I'm not putting anything out there that's not like known or not in the discovery, okay? Just get rid of these pens. The significant locations work pretty good. It works, in fact, so good that the iPhone can, down to the second, log a location where you have been before. So what you actually see here is his history of significant locations. It's listed from new to old. That means here, Rogan on the 13th of August, Then on the 8th of August, he was in Erie. On the 8th of August, he was in North Glen, and so on and so on. So it is shown to us listed from new location to old location. So when you click on that little arrow here, everybody who has an iPhone can do that actually. You click on that little arrow, and I was told that it doesn't matter if it says one location because I was confused. Why does it say one location and it looks like 4 locations? But this is just the area of significance. Okay, so he has one location, which is Roggen, and the phone logs different stops or areas where he is within the area of Roggen. This here as well is listed from new to old. So when you click on that little arrow here, I'm sorry, but the technician did not do a very good job with taking his freaking screenshots because, it's very blurry. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here's a little arrow. So when you click on that, it will give you the locations where you have been. What you see down here is that the phone recognizes a location where you already been. So he already was on the 2nd of July, and on the 3rd of July, he's already been to the Roggen location. This is why the phone is recognizing the Roggen area. Okay? Here, obviously, at Cervi. So then we can pin him down. What did he actually do? So on the 13th of August, he was in the Roggen area, depending on cell tower signal. So what that means is I was thinking Keensburg, where the Cervi oil wells are, is not Roggen. But I found out that the closest back then, now Tampa has a cell phone tower, but it wasn't there in 2018. So the closest cell phone tower where the iPhone gets its locations from is in Keensburg. So even though he is in Roggen, it will log the Roggen area, but actually the address of Keensburg, if that makes sense, right? Same with Thornton and North Glen. Thornton does not have their own. Mute yourself, please, Dave. Or stop clicking. Thornton does not have its own tower, its own cell phone tower. So it will always log North Glen. This is the closest tower. When she is on her way or in her car or moving. As soon as she is home, the location on her phone bills will automatically move to her home network, which is known in Thornton, if that makes sense. So there we can see when she pings in Thornton, she is at home in her own network. If she pings in North Glen, she's on her way somewhere. And this is all it is. So the Roggen area, depending on cell tower signal, that's what I told you just now. Then it logged Erie on the 8th. That was when he was in the ultrasound clinic with Shanann to get that 3D scan. Then he was at NK's place also on the 8th of August before he went to the ultrasound with Shanann. And you can see actually his Geotab here. He parks around the corner from her place at Race Street. He said that so nobody would see his work truck because he went there with his work truck and he parks around the corner so nobody will see him. That's just for, comparison. That's really true. On the 8th, he was in North Glen at NK's place. So then from June 19th to August the 8th, the phone logs significant location in the same area, Platteville, because he was working there and went to the Batcave and Anadarko office. And here, same, it logs 2 locations, but it always depends on the cell towers. Okay, so if Platteville has 2 towers, one close to the Batcave and one to the office, it will log 2 locations. So then Frederick, obviously, his house is in Frederick. Okay. Then here, the log on arrival at 6:53 or 6:58 is missing in CW's work phone. So what we can see actually here is I pulled the Geotab information and compared it to his significant location. And as you can see here, on this 2nd of July, I just converted that into European timestamps given the date, because it's just easier for me to read it. So this is the 2nd of July, okay? It's not the 7th of February. It's the 2nd of July. We reverse that. So the phone locks the location when he's going into the Roggen area at 1:14, and so does his Geotab. Just so much to being accurate. It differs sometimes, but it differs like for 5 to 8 minutes, and that's it. So he gets into the Roggen area at 1:14, is leaving the Roggen area according to his phone at 2:24, and his Geotab gives us 2:27, leaving the Roggen area. So as you can see here, it differs only 3 minutes, which is nothing. Same here. On the 3rd of July, he's entering the Roggen area at 12:06 p.m. according to his phone. And here again, the times are not adjusted with the devices, so it can differ a little bit, but not significant, but a little bit. Same with the router logs, they differ a few seconds. So on the 3rd, Geotab logs him at 12:05, entering the area, and Geotab logs him leaving at 12:56, and the phone logs him leaving at 12:57. Then here's something interesting happens. So this was obviously on the 13th of August while he was at Cervi 10:29, because the log on arrival 6:53 or 6:58 is missing in his work phone. It does not show up. And that means clearly that his work phone was not in the area at 6:53. Okay? So what happens here is his work phone logs entering the Roggen area at 9:02 a.m. until 9:30 a.m. So the phone logs the area in Keensburg at 9:30 a.m. And this is exactly what Geotab gives us. He's entering at 9:30 at 10:29. Okay? So where was he? Or where was his phone for 28 minutes prior? Not there. And we've learned it's quite accurate. But here, it's only login when he enters Cervi 1029. Cervi 319 is completely missing. Completely missing. It doesn't even show up. So his phone did never enter the area at 6:53. It entered at 9:30 at Cervi 1029. So 319 is not there. His phone, work phone, was not at 319. Okay? Then here the same thing. 9:54 a.m. to 1:06. So we just take this from 9:30. He was in the area. 9:39, he arrived at Cervi 10:29. The phone logs the location in the Roggen area, and he's actually leaving at 1:01, and the phone logs him leaving at 1:06 p.m. All at Cervi 10:29. Never at Cervi 3:19. That clear so far? Anybody? Any questions?
I love it when even my own mods are going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's, this is what I do. I keep everything private
Yeah, I mean,
between
I
me
did
and
that.
you, and it's awesome.
I did those phone logs before, but not that deep,
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's just saying, the phone is not accurate. And even Steve said, forget the iPhone. He's a Samsung guy. And he's like,
Yeah.
it's not accurate. And I was like rubbing this under his nose, right? And he was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So where was he then? And I said, it's not important where he was. It's important where his phone was and who had it, right? Who had
That's
it?
correct. Because at
So,
the moment, there is no proof at all. And I'm sorry to say this, people, there is no proof at all. Chris Watts himself was at Cervi in that truck at 6:53. There is no proof at
well,
all
his
at
work
the
phone
moment.
wasn't with him for sure.
His personal phone was
His
with
work
his
phone.
truck.
His work phone. We're talking about the work phone.
Work phone was not with his truck.
Yep. That's true. Who had it?
Yes, only Route 66. Who had it?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on with his personal phone, shall we? And this is something very, very weird. I don't know if they want us to, get confused. But yeah, they listed the significant locations this time from old to new, and listed those from new to old. I don't know why they did that, but they did it. Right? So what you see first is his old locations. They don't even give a timestamp or a date anymore. It's that old. Okay? Roggen area, he was on the 2nd of July, just like his work phone I just showed you. Then he was in North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina, North Carolina, and in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we actually do not know what's after this right here. There could be coming up Cervi 319, another location locked in Roggen, but we don't have this information, okay? We don't. What they do here is simple, just like his work phone. They give us the timestamps listed new to old, just like it was here, same thing. So, as you can see here, his personal phone lists the Roggen area on the 2nd of July. This, on the other hand, lists the Roggen area on the 2nd of July and on the 3rd of July. But this entry is missing here. This should be in between Roggen of the 2nd of July and Morrisville in North Carolina. It's missing It's not there. So another thing I found odd could be just coincidence. I don't think so, though. You see that on his work phone? The technicians give us a full screenshot. At what time he's looking at the phone, what the battery charge was. Same here. He's charging it a little bit, and now it's 86% at 10:11. Okay. Here, on the other hand, he cuts it off. Why is he cutting that off? Because I tell you why. This screenshot could be anyone's phone who was in the Roggen area on the 2nd of July. This is, without a doubt, Chris Watts's significant location log, because he was in Roggen on the 2nd of July, as I just showed you, and he also was in North Carolina, and he was in South Carolina. But we don't know, thanks to the friggin' technician, that idiot. He cuts that off, and I wonder why. This thing could be totally disregarded because we don't know whose it is. We don't. Location is missing. We have nothing to compare the times and battery charge to think or to, find out, is that really the log to this significant location overview here? Or is it somebody else's phone? And just keep in mind, item number 43 is Madam's phone. And we don't have any screenshots of her significant locations. Just saying. So this is missing. The 3rd of July, completely missing. And I believe this is the reason that they show us listed from old to new. Because otherwise we would have seen that his personal phone might have not been at Cervi at 6:58 a.m. Because we don't know what's coming down here. Should be saying Roggen on the 13th of August, but we don't have that information. And I think that's purposely made and purposely cut off. What technician does take screenshots like that anyway? They are way too dark, way too blurry. And cutting off information, that's not gonna hold water. Right?
It's disgusting.
Let's just pretend it is his logs of significant locations. And this is where I could not get my head around. And now I know why I couldn't get my head around, because it's probably not his logs. I cannot make any sense out of this. I can't. First of all, we have not enough information, not enough data talking about this, what's coming down here. And second of all, why isn't it logging the 3rd of July in here, just like it did here? Right? We see the 3rd. We see the 2nd. We see the locations, but we don't see it here. Where is it? It's only the 2nd. It's very, very weird. So, however, where's the log of location on July 3rd? It's not there. It's not there. We don't have it. Okay, I did the same thing with his personal phone, just to show you. On the 2nd of July, he's going into the area, and here you can see that it might be not his logs, because as we saw here, it's like almost down to the minute. It differs like 2-3 minutes to his Geotab. Okay, so his work phone is always with him, and his personal phone is always with him. He takes both phones, even though he might, is leaving his work phone or his personal phone for 5 minutes in the truck. It doesn't matter. Geotab still logs the location. But now look at this. It's like differs very, very, very much on the 2nd. 1:38, and here it logs 12:43 till 2:23, and here 2:18. And just guys, keep in mind what I told you in part 1 and part 2 about the Safeway parking lot, when she always is near the area. Okay, same here. Entering the area at 12:05, leaving at 12:56. Here the phone is logging 12:23 till 12:51. This is actually could be, it's only 5 minutes, but still it's too far from 12:05. Then the one that does fit is the 6:58 a.m. till 9:12 a.m. He leaves at home at 5:46, arrives at Cervi 319 at 6:53. The phone logs the location at 6:58. He's leaving Cervi 319 at 9:30. But this log tells us he's leaving the area at 9:12. I mean, 5 minutes, give or take, okay. But this is like 18 minutes. Too much. Same here, 9:55. He's entering the area of Roggen till 12:58. Here he's entering the area of Roggen at 9:39 actually, and leaving Cervi 319 at 9:30. And then it matches up again. 12:58 leaving, 12:47 leaving.
12:57.
What?
12:57? 12:47. 12:57.
12:57. So you can see it differs quite a lot. Quite a lot. So I'm not sure. Simply because he cut this off, I will completely disregard that. Because this is not what a technician does. He gives accurate information and statements, not personal opinions and cut off screenshots. Then one other interesting thing I have. So this is his work phone again. From 10 a.m., activity miraculously stops on his work phone, just in time of significant location log, even though he used it all morning. So when you guys go back to part 2, what I showed you, he's using his work phone all morning. He's using it to call his coworkers. He's using it to text. He's using it to search. He's using it for everything except one thing. And that's when he's taking a picture of his work laptop. That picture he does take with his personal phone. And that's the only thing with this picture. His personal phone is on location Cervi 319. This is the only thing they have to place him at Cervi 319 if he had his phone, if he had his personal phone. So what's really weird, as soon as he's entering the Roggen area at 10 on Cervi 1029 and having his phone again here, here, I was pointing this way, here, all movement stops. And from then on, he's only using his personal phone for everything. So the question I have is, why isn't he using his his work phone to take that picture of his laptop screen? This must have something to do, we would assume, taking a picture of your laptop screen. Why would you take that on your personal phone? And you guys, as I told you before, this technician is so full of shit. I'm sorry for saying shit, but he is. That I really doubt, I honestly, truly doubt, after what I have seen in the discovery, in the timeline, the whole mix up, that I truly doubt that he did take this picture with his personal phone. I truly do. I don't believe it. I believe that was taken with his work phone. You guys know that they doctored, or this guy or technician or whoever it was, doctored around. I showed you, I proved to you. And therefore, to me, I cannot take that as real or as proof that his personal phone was at Cervi. I just can't. Especially not after this. And the locations that add up perfectly down to the minute. And then what are we getting? Cut off freaking screenshots? Blurry images? Are you kidding me? And then miraculously, not using his work phone anymore? Only his personal cell phone until he gets home? No. Makes no sense. Either phone was somewhere else and not with him. And God knows where he was. I'm telling you right away, my personal, honest opinion. I cannot place him. I myself can, after seeing all this, cannot place him at Cervi with 100% proof. We can place his phones, or maybe him, but there's no proof. Other than his co-workers arriving at 8:30 and seeing him. And that's the only thing. And the only proof they have of his actual personal phone being on Cervi 319 is that picture he's taking in the middle of using only his work phone. And that makes absolutely no sense to me. Thank you, Aussie Girl Jen. Dave, do you want to say anything before I move on?
Just quickly, we spent hours on the phone, hours going through this together, trying to figure it all out in the lead up to this live stream. Hours. And TJ was still working on it yesterday. It was hours. We were on the phone. Yes, TJ. You think 5 minutes is... You think an hour is 5 minutes. Anyway. Alrighty, so what we've actually come to the conclusion of, as TJ just said, we don't know if Chris Watts was actually there at Cervi 319 at all that morning. We do not know. There is no 100% proof that places Chris Watts there at all.
I mean, he
That one.
obviously was there after 8:30 or,
Correct.
around 8 o'clock.
But his phones were elsewhere until that time. Because that screenshot right now that's on the screen could be anyone's phone.
Not this one. This is his work phone.
Oh, yes, that's the one that's got the two locations. Yes, the other one.
Where is it? Here.
That's the one. That. Oh, that's got the second and the third. That's got two significant, hasn't it? The second of the 7th and the third of the 7th.
Yeah.
Yep. 912. Yeah, that's the one. How? There's no proof. That's actually Chris's phone because it's got the cut off. It's cut off at the top.
Like
Completely.
I said, they doctored so much in the discovery to make it appear like something that's not true.
Like August 7, 8, and 9.
So why would they expect me to believe them that he took that picture on his personal phone? I found many, many entries that weren't actually taken or done by his personal phone or his work phone. Many, many, many. The discovery is full of it. Like when they say, "Oh, he did that with his work phone." No, he didn't. He did that with his personal phone. And this is, they doctored so much. How can they possibly expect us to believe this? Especially with these cutoff thingies. And you have no cutoff screenshots. That's the other problem. Only on these two. Everything else is fine. Not these two, though. This is cut off.
For a reason.
Go check in the discovery for yourselves, guys. It's cut off. I didn't do this. They did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. This is it. The friggin' phones.
It is about the phones.
So then another thing I put together for you guys. Who was on site and who was not? The question he was asked in his interview. How far apart are the sites? And Chris answers, "Oh, it's just a walk." Right? Here. Just a walk. Where was it? Here. 9:02. But the Geotab locks him at 9:30. So where was he from 9:02 to 9:30? Was he walking somewhere? I did a video on this already with all the differences and how many yards away and stuff like that. So it is true because I couldn't believe if you see it on Google Earth, it looks so far away. But if you measure that on Google Earth, it's actually not far at all. And this is also the reason I put up all these interviews, guys. Because Tommy Lee asks Luke Apple, so I understand they have work phones and personal phones. Do you know if the operators have both phones with them at all times? Do you now see why she's asking that? Because in the start of the investigation, and we're talking here about Tuesday, in the start of the investigation, when they did not have all his Geotab, they probably were thinking, oh, hold on a second, something does not add up. Right? That's why she's asking him, do they have both phones at all times? And Apple said, I would think so, yes. And I think Tammy Lee or whoever was involved with these phones did see that too, that something is not right and something does not add up. So the question I have really is, who was on site? Why was Chris asking Cody Roberts, when are you gonna be here? Where are you? Was it really because he was scared that somebody is gonna catch him burying Shanann and killing the girls? Or was it because he did not want his helper to be seen on site? Which one is it? Or he was thinking, how much time do I have left to go back to Cervi 319 before they all arrive? Many possibilities. Many, many possibilities. Here again, my little minion. Chris Watts did not act alone. He didn't. I'm convinced.
It's all in the data.
Yep.
We've explained this and said this for weeks and months now. It is all in the data. The data does not lie. People do.
Right. And this is why I put all these interviews up. Some people, sent me messages. Oh, we've seen that a million times. Well, yeah. Listen to it again because it's important. Because the investigators also asking these questions in the start of the investigation. And I mean, I'm no expert, and it takes me quite a while to put this all together, but an actual technician and people who have, the equipment and stuff, they can find out in no time. They can find out in 2 hours or an hour or half an hour, I don't know. But something was wrong and they saw it. They saw it. That something wasn't right. Why else would she ask this question? Right? But it's for you to decide. Okay, let's move on to the phone movement and router logs. Bam, bam, bam.
I'll be right back. Just one
Okay,
moment. Let's
happy
keep going.
smoking. Let's take a closer look at item 41, CW's personal phone. I also presented that once before, just for completion of the timeline. I'm going to show you again. This is his router log. This I did on my own, and I also the router log was 2 hours ahead. So what I did I did not change anything. I just changed the times to the real time of the event and put just which device it was underneath. And I'm gonna make a video on the whole router logs soon, very soon. So what he did, like I said previously, we don't know if somebody was at the phone and he just hung up and then reconnects, or if he was out of the house, right? So when you look at those times from 9 p.m. to 11:20 p.m., 2 hours, 20 minutes out of house. Then he triggers Alexa at 12:47 a.m. Then from 1:11 to 1:32, he's either having a long conversation again on the phone, or he went in and out over a period of 2 hours and 10 minutes. He went in and out of the house, that means. His personal phone last time it logs or connects to the router is at 1:32. And that indicates that he is not calling anybody. He is not leaving from that time until the morning. Here you see his personal phone walking and running distance. As you can see here, it connects. Basically, it's similar to when he connects back in and out. And like I told you, we don't know if he was on the phone, but if you look at his walking and running distance, it's most likely that he was running in and out of the house, right? So at 1:32, 1:11, 11:20, and 9. And here you can see that's the 12 here. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's really blurry, but this also the technician took. It's not my picture. And this is from midnight onwards, the 13th. So here he's doing quite a lot from 12 p.m. How that works, I'll just explain it real quick to you. Here you can see the time. It's 12 p.m., it's 3 p.m., it's 6 p.m., it's 9 p.m., it's 12 a.m. So it goes in a 3-hour step. What these thingies mean is when it says 9 underneath, it always means from 9 to 10. The next one would be 10 to 11. And the next one would be 11 to midnight, just for your better understanding. Okay, so he's running errands here, 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 here. Then he does nothing until he gets up. (12 a.m.) He's running around, as you can see here. He's logging back into the router and then goes in and out, in and out. And from 12 a.m. in the morning, there's no movement up to 4 a.m. So he did not have his personal phone either on him or on, or Wi-Fi was turned off. There's no movement. Then at 4 a.m., there's little movement, walking-wise. At 5, from 5 to 6, there's quite, well, I wouldn't even say that's a lot. It's 0.2 miles. That's like basically nothing. So I don't know why they say, oh, a lot of steps, blah, blah, blah. It's actually not that much he's walking distance-wise. Then here you can see from 6 to 7, obviously he was driving. That's why he has little movement, almost 0. And then from 7 to 8, no, sorry. Is it 6 to 7? No, 7 to 8, I was right. Again, little movement. From 8 to 9, no movement. From 9 to 10, again, very, very little movement. From 10 to 11, and this is crucial because this is when he gets his other phone. No movement. Then 11 to 12 p.m., almost no movement. And then from 12 p.m., a lot of movement. And this is when he takes these pictures of sunflowers, goes to the toilet, and so on and so on and so on. I showed you all that in part 2. So he's walking a little bit with his phone, taking pictures, going to the toilet, doing whatever. Okay? So, next one. He logs back in to his home router at 9 p.m. And this is what Nate's camera captures at 9:37 p.m. There is some sort of movement because we see headlights turning up. This vehicle then again turns on Nate's camera at 9:45 p.m. Then reappears at 11:25 p.m. And this exactly does match his movement and him logging back into the router. So between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m., when he was on the phone with NK, CW takes very little steps. Then we have that vehicle turning up. Could it be that he was in a vehicle driving somewhere? Was he picked up by somebody? As the vehicle appears again, CW's phone logs back into the router and the steps continue. This is when he receives the message from Shanann. He did not know at this time that Shanann's flight was delayed, as he was speaking to NK on the phone when Shanann sent him a message. My flight was delayed or is delayed. And then he sends her a message at 11:21. So 11:20, his phone logs back into the router. And at 11:21, he reads the message and sends her a message back. Holy crap, or something, I passed out, or that's late. Something along those lines. 5 minutes later, that vehicle, or a vehicle, activates Nate's motion camera again. And I don't know if it's coming or leaving. I assume it would be a great coincidence if that was arriving. Because I believe, and that's my personal opinion, that whoever turned up was picking him up. That's just too much of a coincidence that 5 minutes later, this vehicle is leaving when he logs back into his router. And there he has no movement at that time. Nothing. Like a few steps, but that's it. Almost zero. And like I said, this is nothing new. I just want to put it out there for completion. So I did a whole video about this. So the questions, is it coincidence? I don't think so. But like I said, that's my personal opinion going through all this. I formed my opinion, and I don't believe that this is coincidence. I don't know about you guys, but I just don't. Were the girls taken away at this point? We gotta take into consideration that it is a possibility that the girls were taken out before Shanann got home, right? So were they taken away by somebody when this vehicle appears on Nate's camera? If not, would Chris have left his girls home alone? Keep in mind that he was not aware of Shanann's flight being delayed at this point in time. So he must have thought in his head, if she comes home and she sees that I left the kids alone, all hell is gonna break loose, right? So this makes me think that there is a possibility that the kids might have been taken out at this time. Then, of course, you have the shadow appearing, right? People who know me know that I'm not a big believer in those shadows, simply because it could be anything. Could be Dieter. But yeah, this is just too much of a coincidence. Would be too much of a coincidence. So let's move on. So I just put here the movement from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. There was no movement. And the basement door is opening at 4:26 a.m. And this is when he has very little walking. So here we're talking not about steps, we're talking about the walking and running distance. And as you can see, miraculously, see, he did not cut off the screenshots. Weird, no? So then from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., under 0.2 miles walking, he's going in and out of the garage. Then from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., almost no walking, of course, because the majority of the time he was driving out on site. Then from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., very, very little walking, just over 0.1 mile. The truck to the leak, probably. Then from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., he had no walking, and the co-workers arrived. This is not clear at what time exactly they arrived. Melissa is saying they were there shortly after 8, and Chat is saying they were there around 8:30. So 2 different statements. So I just say between 8 and 8:30. Okay. So then at 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., he has, again, very, very little walking. And at 9:30, he starts his truck going over to Cervi 1029. It takes him 9 minutes or 8 minutes. Then here again, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., no walking at all. And this is when he switches actually to use his personal phone, as I showed you before. Then from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., very little walking at 10:29. So almost the whole time he was at 10:29, he was actually sitting in his truck. Apart from when he got out of his truck to go to the toilet and to go over to the field, and when he was taking these 2 pictures of sunflowers. So then from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., here again, taking pictures, toilet. And from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., he has almost no walking because he's driving home. Okay. So then I measured on Google Earth. That's very, very good tool, actually. So this was the spot he was parking, and Geotab gives us the exact location of where he parked his truck. And that was here. Up to the leak, and the leak was here in the bypass line, in between here. It's 0.02 miles, so not far at all. It just looks very far on Google Earth and on these maps and all that, but it actually is not far. So keep in mind, it's just a walk, right? So then here I did a little overlay. The light bars you see are his steps, and the darker red bars you see is his walking and running distance. So what I did was actually basically just an overlay to see if his movements add up with his steps. And what that actually means is, here, let's say here, for example, from 5 to 6 a.m., we know he did quite a few steps. That is over 200 steps, but not so much walking distance. And what that means is he is taking more steps, or let's say a lot of steps or many steps in a little area, if that makes sense, right? So little area, many steps. And this was actually 5 to 6 when he's going in and out of the garage. little area, many steps. So he's not moving far away. Same here. Then from 4 a.m. to 5 a.m., you see here, very little area that would be indicating that he was going up the stairs or from the basement or doing whatever, waking up. Takes very little steps in a very little area. At 4:26, the basement door opens. Then here at 6, he obviously from 6 to 7, he was driving the majority of the time. Same here. No movement, no movement. And then when he comes home, he has more movement again. So what does he do here? You can actually see quite what he does. He had 3, 4, at 5 p.m. Large area, large number of steps. He's taking here like 1,000 steps from 5 to 6. A little less steps or way less steps here. Then from 8 to 9, he's not taking any steps. From 9 to 10, again, more steps, little area. And this is quite interesting. From 10 to 11 and from 11 to midnight. Do you guys remember? He was on the phone with NK, and we're talking on the 13th to the 14th. He is actually stepping around in an area of probably 1 square meter. So he is on the phone with her, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, within his living room, probably, or not even half of his living room, or in the kitchen area. So he's taking steps without making a walking distance. And that's what this indicates. So whatever happened here he was quite normal. But then at 11 p.m., he must have learned of something because he got very nervous, stepping on the spot, going around, pacing. I don't know what he did. Very, very little area to none, and very, very many steps. And that indicates someone being very nervous about something. Dave?
Absolutely. And the thing that I've got a question right here is just remember Nicole Kessinger said on the Monday night conversation, Chris was laying on a bed with no sheets.
Well, not true.
Correct. He's walking around.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you so much. Pretty smart.
Yep.
Just watch the replay.
She's pretty smart. I'm an amazing person. She truly is. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
She truly is, and very intelligent. So it looks like NK has been caught out in a lie again. He was not laying on a bed. He was actually walking and walking and walking and walking.
On the spot.
On the spot. Lots of it.
And that indicates nervousness.
Absolutely.
Something must have triggered him, like, to become very nervous. I mean, when you're on the phone, you do a few steps on the spot, like, when you're in the middle of something. But that's over 400 steps.
On the spot.
On the spot. Or like, let's say within 1 or 2 square meters. Or you guys do measure in square foot. I don't know how much that will be, but yeah, we're saying square meters. Pretty smart. Oh my God, thank you.
She's lovely.
Yeah. So we caught her in a lie. We found out 3 things actually with this overlay. We caught NK in a lie. We know that he was taking very many steps on the spot. And it indicates to us that he must have learned of something that made him nervous.
And we also get to hear him talk later on with Officer Goodman, who speaks with Christopher at 2:07 a.m. Chris sounds like he's actually been crying, and his voice is very muffled. And when he's explaining the children's height and weight to Officer Goodman, and it just appears to me that he has been alerted of something that actually has happened and
Yes,
been
and
informed.
in the next part, in chapter 2 of the aftermath of part 3 of the timeline, I will be recapping that anyway, because I've focused only on the 13th with this live.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
the call you just mentioned occurs actually right after here.
Correct.
Or
yes.
yeah, right after
Mm-hmm.
here. So yeah, indicates a lot, and we can see a lot in the data. It's unbelievable what you can see.
It doesn't lie.
No, it doesn't. Well, if you fabricate it and put
Yes.
it into a timeline, so it, seems like something went on that did not went on, then yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to Cervi. In my opinion, it's very much doable what he did, distance-wise, and according to the steps he's taken, or walking and running distance. And I calculated that all together. What I did was got his point of parking, going out to the grave, going back to the truck. Gets one of the girls, going up the tanks, going back down. Gets the other girl, going back up to the tanks, going down. The summary is 0.13 miles. So, and if you look here, always under 0.2 miles. Always. Here. So it is definitely doable, not time-wise, but distance-wise. It's doable with the walking or running distance he does. It's doable that he moves along. Like I said, it's very hard to, because it appears farther away than it actually really is. Just a walk. But yeah, movement, no flights of stairs at Cervi. So he did not climb any flights. But I did a whole video on that as well. Check it out if you want. Actually, what I found out here, you cannot see that because the overlay is on top of it. But here, he climbs many, many stairs at 11, between 11 and 12 a.m. It's here just cut off. But you'll see that in the other video. So no flights of stairs at Cervi 319.
Amazing.
So then the steps compared to the walking and running distance, this is basically just what I showed you just now with the overlay here. Just so you see that I'm not BSing you guys. It's those steps taken with his walking and running distance, and it lines up. This was what I was just showing to you guys. So, and when I said he was basically sitting all the time in his truck at 10:29, I'm not lying. Because what does he do on his personal phone right? Because now we all know he had his personal phone back when he was at 10:29, so he starts looking for stuff. He starts looking for the lyrics. He starts looking for Primrose School and Snowmass Village hotel resorts and whatnot. Okay. So, what I basically did, same thing. That's just a screenshot of what I did here, just for comparison. So, you see what he actually did, and that him searching in his truck lines up with his walking distance. So from 10 to 11, no walking at 10:29. What does he do from 10 to 11? He's looking up the battery lyrics, the Aspen Snowmass Village, and stuff like that. So it could be true that he was not walking around at all because he was sitting in his truck looking for this stuff. And then from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., obviously almost no walking because he was driving home. So let's check out item 40 if you're not too tired yet. So far, does everybody understand what I'm saying? Do I make any sense to you guys? If not, just send me an email and I can send you the whole router logs and stuff. Okay, let's move on to item 40. So as we can see here, from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. Oh, I forgot something to mention something. People are saying, oh, well, he could have left his phone in the truck while taking steps. It's actually not possible because he has still movement. He still has movement on his phone, but no flights of stairs climbed. So he cannot have movement on his phone and not climbing any flights of stairs. That's kind of aerodynamically impossible. Let's put it this way.
Somebody just joked in chat. Can you say that all that again?
What?
Everything from somebody just joked in chat just from today's live stream. Can you say that all that again? I missed it.
No. Absolutely.
Thank you, Kat. All right. I'll
Oh,
keep
Cat
going.
that was.
Yeah, that was Kat Raphael. Yes,
Cat.
absolutely.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So from 7 p.m. until the 12th until 5 a.m. he's not carrying his work phone. As you can see here, the activity stops at 7 p.m. And when he gets his phone back into his hands, he's carrying it, going in and out of the garage. 5:39, 5:41, 5:43. Right? So we know he had his phone on him once he got it out of the house. Then I did the same thing. And what is really, 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 really weird to me is, look at this. We actually already know that between, where am I? 5, 6, between 6 and 7, he's not taking any steps or very, very little steps, like 4, 5, 10 maybe at most, with his personal phone, because most of the time, as we know, he was driving out to Cervi, right? And now, remember what I told you guys about his phones and where was his actual phone and who had it, okay? So, no, almost no movement here because he was driving to Cervi, okay? Now look at this. This is what he does on his work phone. How comes that his personal phone has almost 0 steps because he was driving, But his work phone has actually roughly, approximately 80 steps. This is 200, so I put a bar in here for your better understanding. This bar right here would be 100 steps, so it's just under 100 steps. And yeah, this would be around 80 steps. So how can this be that he has not much movement, 80 steps, but still 80 steps on his work phone and almost 0 on his personal phone if he had both phones with him? How is it possible?
As we know, he has 7 minutes
Mm-hmm.
from 6:53 until 7 a.m. to do those 80 steps, and it's only about 75 yards, so it's not far. Okay, but that's the only time he's actually got to do that. But let's all remember, it doesn't log a significant location at Cervi.
Mm-hmm.
So the phone is not at Cervi. He's not walking at Cervi with that phone.
Exactly. That's
He's
why I
not
said,
there.
remember what I've told you about this phone and the phone's location. Those steps are not taken at Cervi 319, but he has his work phone. So who was actually driving the work truck?
That's the other $1 million question.
He gets his work phone around 5:30 because at 5:39, and this actually lines up with the timeline Don did. At 5:39, he goes back into the garage, and in that very second, his work phone connects back into his home router. So he had his phone. He had his work phone. But he obviously was not at Cervi 319. So who had his phone if somebody else had it? When did they meet? So this other person or persons could have taken his phone? Or was he not at Cervi 319 at all? Because this phone is not logging location at Cervi 319 at 6:53. Right? So those 80 steps or whatever, he's not taken at Cervi 319. It's somewhere else. The question is, was Chris at Cervi 319 at 5:53? Or was somebody else with his work truck at Cervi 319 at 5:53? And we don't have enough data to prove that. But I think I made a lot of it, like I proved a lot that something is not right. And there had to be another person. It's impossible. There had to be another person on that site.
Absolutely had to be.
Yeah. Same here. You see here, very, very many steps in a little area. And this is his work phone, right? Many, many steps, almost 800 steps in a little area. And that's a lot. And that was from 8 to 9. And do you remember? His phone connects to the area at 9:02. So whatever he was doing, he was taking very many steps in a little area. And what does that indicate to us? It's just a walk, right? Could it be that the bodies or the body of Shanann was laying out in the field somewhere else and then buried Tuesday night? Were the kids around in the area held somewhere? Because remember, guys, he took a cooler and blankets and wanted to go out on site. What do you need a cooler and blankets for on at Cervi?
Could I ask a question?
Yes, of course.
I just want to know, is there anything out near Cervi at all where anybody could have been held?
Yes, there are. First of all, there are many other oil fields around, not operating tanks anymore, so nobody will go out there for a couple weeks, only for maintenance. And then also on his way to Roggen on the service sites, he is driving past many abandoned houses.
Mm-hmm.
Just go along, you guys. Check out on Google Earth Front Street. And this is the exact route he takes going up to Cervi. This is the route they all take going up to Cervi, and then they take a left to go in the actual Cervi property or fields. But along this way are many abandoned little houses. There's even an abandoned gas station. It's called, the street name is Front Street. And he's driving past that. Just saying, just check it out. It doesn't mean anything maybe, but just check it out. It's interesting. It's very interesting. So little area, very many steps.
North, what was the name? Front Street is the name of the street, everybody, if you're looking.
Front
Street.
Street.
You can see many abandoned houses.
Yes.
And they're like farmhouses. They're like, there's so much land around these houses. There's, Front Street is what you're looking for.
Front Street, Front.
Yes, tumbleweed, weed. Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you. So what I did actually was just the same thing I did with his personal phone. 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. there was no movement. 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. walking under 2 miles, under 200 steps. 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say that's an overlay as well. Just like I did with item 41, his personal phone. 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. walking little over 0.1 mile. 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. walking little over 0.2 miles. But he has almost 800 steps. This time, co-workers arrive. So what does that indicate to us? He's calling Cody. When are you coming? When are you coming? He's trying to call Troy. He's trying to call Chad. He's trying to call every freaking soul on this planet. And then what is he doing? He's in a hurry. And that mirrors his steps. 800 steps, very little area. I gotta hurry. I hurry. I'm in a rush to do something. Okay? That indicates that. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., walking under 0.1 mile, over 200 steps as well. And at 9:38, he arrives at Cervi 10:29. from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., no walking, no steps, nothing. Nothing. And this is again
Unbelievable.
when he starts using his personal phone again. So from 10 a.m. basically to 2 a.m., no walking, no steps, nothing. And at 1:07 p.m., he starts his truck and is driving home. So who was he calling on the way? He's arriving at 2:07 or 2:08, not connecting to his home router. The phone connects at 2:35. So who was on the phone listening in? So, and this, like I said, is the only thing that puts his personal phone at Cervi 319. The picture of his laptop screen is the only one he took using item 41, his personal phone, and the only timeline entry that is placing his personal phone at Cervi 319. And it reads, at 7:18 a.m., Watts took a photograph of his laptop screen, presumably sitting in his truck. The metadata confirms Watts was at the Cervi coordinates. The image is apparently only in a thumbnail format. Ha ha ha. And enlarging it blurs out the writing on the laptop screen. So I thought you were a technician. It should be no problem. You should convert a thumbnail format into a readable format within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason I put up Troy McCoy's interview today again. Troy McCoy is saying, Steve, whenever there is a leak, Steve sends them the levels of the oil tanks so they can figure out, danger or whatever they got to do to fix a leak. And he sends this data to their work laptops. So why the hell is he taking a photo of his laptop screen with his personal phone? It has nothing to do with him personally. It's work related. And he has his work phone all the time in his friggin' hands because it's nothing else he does other than texting and calling people and walking around. So then they want to tell us that he's taking his personal phone to take that one picture. The only picture that places his phone at Cervi 319, even though we only have a cut-off screenshot of some times and locations we don't even know if it belongs to him. So he never used his personal phone that morning except to take this work-related picture. From 10 p.m., miraculously, he is using his personal phone only. And I put underneath, just in time of its arrival. Yep.
Unbelievable.
I mean, yeah, if it's work related, that's true. Because
Sorry.
what I'm thinking is he got the oil levels and he took a picture, or somebody, we don't know if he did it, took a picture of the oil levels to figure out, do we have a chance to put the bodies in there? And I'm telling you, and I also told Dave, I am convinced that if they had more time, Shanann would have ended up in those tanks as well. I truly, truly believe that. I truly do. So I changed it a little. I'm now saying Chris Watts had a helper on site. Period. There you go, my little minion. So cute. So funny. So cute. Alrighty. That's it from my side, basically, for today's live stream. But I'm gonna have a little bonus for you guys. And Don was preparing something very special. And I just let Don explain what he did. I blurred out, or I, made her redacted the female's face and head, because just yet we're not allowed to show, but we can show you something else. And Don, if you want to say something, I put it up.
Don.
Don?
Is he there?
Yeah. Don? He might work on the side on something. Don, are you there? Don? He's here, but...
Do you hear me now?
Oh, yeah.
Ah, there he is. There he is.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
This is your work. So this...
No.
Just real quick, the only thing I did was putting that white bar, like that white thingy there. So, yeah.
First of all, a small introduction about the software I was using. Obviously,
excuse me, can you just excuse me for a second, please? I'll be right back.
Yep. Okay.
Obviously, because the forensic software I'm using is not available for general public, it has many features that I can't talk about. But I would like to say all of this, that one of those features is the possibility to measure the height of objects or people in a footage, taking into consideration the difference of perspective, role of the camera, characteristics of the camera lens, and many other optical variables that I will not bother you with now. What I would like you to know is that I took great care to keep the errors as low as possible, given the footage I had at hand. So, about the height comparison process. There are a few simple steps. First of all, I needed to know the real height of an object or person in the frames under comparison as a reference. I chose what's his height. Then I selected two frames that you see in that collage, okay. Two frames that could be matched as close as possible in terms of the walking stance. If you look at the image on the screen, both persons have both feet on the ground in full walking stance. The next thing I did was to establish a baseline or a bottom reference line. So I aligned vertically the two frames to be able to measure as accurate as possible the height of each individual. Now, instead of measuring the height of each person in absolute units, I prefer to express the height of the smaller person in percent from the higher person. in our case, I knew that Watts has a height of 5'10", that is approximately 176 centimeters. I added 1 inch because he was wearing boots. In other words, his total height was 5'11" at that moment. Then, by measuring the height of each person in pixels in both frames, I got the result you see on the screen. I estimated the margin of error to 2%. So, in other words, just looking at the top reference line, the height of the unknown person is roughly, you see, the top of the head is roughly at the ears level compared to Watts. Or in terms of exact absolute units, 5 feet 6, around this height.
So I hope everybody heard that. Don has just actually made a point
Yes.
that the top of the head of the female walking out matches and goes to the top of Chris Watts's left ear, which makes it 93 to 95% of Chris's height, which then brings the height of the person walking out of the garage to 5'6". Everybody?
Yes.
5'6", not 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wanted to make this comparison because some people asked about it and they expressed some doubt about that unknown person being not Watts 2. So I did my best to show you that I have aligned accurately those frames without introducing any errors, any distortions due to different perspective. And this is the result. Now, something else, and I would like to ask Tanya to put the other photo about the length of the steps, please.
Oh, do I have that one?
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Named, let's see.
It's in WhatsApp.
Hold on. I'm gonna real quick look for it.
It's named.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Step.
Hold on, I sent that really quick to me. To myself actually.
Sure. You don't need to put that rectangle because the head of the female is covered by the leaves.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me just send this to my computer real quick. Just takes a second. Keep talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
No worries. So what we've and there is also sorry, Don.
I wanted also to know the step length of each person. Since I didn't have any absolute reference in inches or centimeters, I decided to express the smaller step length as percent from the bigger step length. You'll understand better when you see the image.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick. Just to put that in. I'm sorry that I did not think of the second picture. I was just so blown away from the first one.
Yes, I wanted to be sure that in terms of the length of the steps, that
you see a little bit, so I better cover that.
And there's also, isn't there another picture of Chris walking up to the garage, and you actually see him at the garage crystal clear.
Seeing Chris crystal clear, yeah. On
Yeah,
the
there's
footage on enhanced for us, you see like faces and face expressions.
mm,
It's like crazy.
It's not
mhm.
like it was not Chris that in those photos. No, somebody else might have driven his truck to Cervi at one point, but when he left home, it was him. So,
Yes.
as you can see, I took
Is
as
that
the
the right one?
reference. Yes.
Okay.
As you can see in this new image, if we consider what is step length as 100%, by measuring the same in pixels on the horizontally, it results that the step length of the unknown person is roughly 86 to 88%. Again, the estimated error is 2%. In my opinion, the length of the walking steps is consistent to a woman's gait.
Mm-hmm.
You know, men are walking with long steps, and the frequency of stepping is lower, and women having shorter legs, they walk faster and shorter steps.
Yep. Thank you, Laura.
So,
Yeah. I mean,
in my opinion, there's no doubt there are two different persons.
yes.
Somebody might ask, why was that person so indifferent, or let's say very relaxed? Why was she walking so relaxed to the truck?
Mm-hmm.
You have to take into consideration something else that might not be so visible in in the footage. The actual brightness or the luminosity at that hour was not like you see in the footage. Actually, it is darker. That luminosity, that brightness of the footage is given by the camera. The camera tries to enhance the brightness to record a better footage. Actually,
Right.
it was quite dark.
Oh, yes. You can actually see that when there is one existing picture with the police car in front of his house, and it's very dark.
Yes, in the footage, it looks like in a photo I've seen where some projectors from the TV stations are lighting the front of the house.
Thank you, Laura. I'm just blown away with what you did. I mean, I've seen the
It's not
enhanced
easy.
I have seen the enhanced footage, and it was crystal clear to me who is walking out of that garage. And all your expertise is just absolutely amazing, and what you do with all the measurements, I wouldn't be able to, not in a million years. And I'm so thankful that you basically kickstarted um that the whole case, because with you working with us, it basically keeps me moving with this case, because I was very much on giving up. But after I saw this, and this is actual proof, and that we forwarded to the right people,
Uh,
that's
Thank you.
just, it's
I,
just I thank you a million times because this is just amazing.
I want to take this opportunity to tell you and your subscribers something else that I haven't till now the possibility for technical reasons.
Thank you, Mariette.
uh, there is something that the subscribers do not know about me and my decision to work with you and Dave. You know, I chose to get involved in this online detective work for the same reason thousands and thousands of people across the globe did. The Watts case is a disgrace in terms of justice, human rights, honesty, and professionalism. Almost every official person involved in this case showed corruption, dishonesty, and incompetence.
Oh, very true.
They gave us very little information and sometimes knowingly falsified that you saw that today. They hoped that we will stop in our struggle for finding the truth and seeking to bring to justice the rest of the conspirators in this horrible murder. And when I say conspirators, trust me, we know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Me personally, I wanted to help by bringing my experience, my skills, resources, and personal contacts in this lengthy investigation. I chose to work with TJ and Dave after I carefully watched their work and their behavior.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, 1960.
Thank you, Don.
I chose them because they are both determined, generous, smart, and hardworking. I think I spoke with TJ and Dave over 100 hours, live or on the phone, both day or night.
Yeah, arguing as well.
No,
Many times.
To the point of at least once of each of us saying, I'm done, I'm out.
Correct.
no.
And then 5 minutes later, oh, have you seen this and that?
Now, people, behind the scenes, we meet to turn upside down countless scenarios and to
Yes.
squeeze out every bit of useful information possible.
Yes.
We dissected interviews, declarations, reports, footage, photos, and other documents.
Yeah.
Above all, we agree to disagree until the strongest arguments win.
Yeah.
So, people, if you want facts without drama, if you want your questions answered in this case and maybe those that will follow, the best place to be is on TJ's and Dave's channels.
Thank you so, so much,
Thank
Don.
you,
I
Don.
really appreciate it.
That's absolutely amazing to hear. I mean, I'm a
Yeah.
bit different to most. TJ is very analytical. I'm a bit different, but we all have the same goal, and we all have our own special way of analyzing data and information.
Yeah.
And I think that we're very, very fortunate that we've all met.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I'm so glad I did not block you when you were harsh to me. But there was something, about you that I was thinking, oh no, this guy has brains. And I like being challenged. So, yeah. And I'm glad I didn't. So, yeah. I'm just so sorry, you guys, that not everything we have or know we can just yet make public. But let me assure you that there is stuff going on in the background. I'm not saying there's an open investigation. I'm not saying there's not. There are people working in the background. So are we. And, bouncing information back and forth. The right people have our information, and stuff will come out. And if that comes out what we think really happened, this will blow your friggin' socks off if you have any left.
That's
Because
right.
I was told in the start by Don, and I remember this quite well. He said to me something along those lines of, when we're finished with this case, you will never think that this or that person must have or had played a part in this, and you will be quite shocked. And I was.
Yes.
And I think I can speak for you too, Dave.
Well, I'm
Yes,
truly.
yes. I am. My main interest is to end this investigation
Yes.
because it took too much, and now we squeezed every bit of information from what we have. We did everything we could. We've sent data to relevant persons, and the rest is not up to us.
Socks,
We,
bras, and panties. Yeah, Sylvia, so true.
yeah, Tanya has a good saying that we don't have to want more to bring justice than those that have the duty to do it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yes, very true. That's what I always say. I don't I cannot want this more than the people involved
Exactly.
who wants justice. Well, what we do is actually just, and I would never put anything out I couldn't prove. That's why I'm saying to you guys, I have missing data. If I had it all, I could show it all to you. But I just simply, like Don says, I only have breadcrumbs. But I think I, made a lot out of it to show you guys what really went on. So I hope that at least you know that, and as we're going on and on and on, that's why it was so important to me to do the timeline before I do the next part of the documentary, which will be coming out in sometime in November, part 2, and part 3 in December. But it was just important to me to show you guys all the little details and what really went on, because in the start of my first part of the documentary, I go basically into what happened, but now I'm going into what really happened and how data and stuff was manipulated, right? So, and it was just very important for me, so you guys see that before I put out the documentary, so you know the connection and how it all comes together, right? It's better understandable, in my opinion.
And Tiger Girl, thank you very much. You guys have literally obliterated all the rubbish and noise. Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Tiger Girl.
Thank you. Thank you, Tiger Girl.
And thanks anyways to all my moderators.
Yes.
I'm not into drama, and I try not to be involved in drama either. And my moderators are really keeping me from seeing certain things. And I just want to say a big, massive thank you, because drama and arguments and all that stuff just gives me great anxiety. And I can't sleep, I can't eat. And, even though stuff might not be true, but arguments in general, I just can't stand it, because you only have a short time on this planet, and why argue with people? It makes no sense to me. So I want everybody to be good with everybody. Of course, you say some stuff when you're angry. I'm only human too. I do too. I swear a lot too, but just
A
not
lot.
to. Try not to. I mean, yeah, in private,
Yes.
right? But I wouldn't swear on another person who's not there. with somebody else. I mean, I have my opinions and I stand to what I say. But and like I said, you say certain things when you're angry, but in the long run, just don't, be good. And, even though your fellow man might not be good or a drama queen, just try not to. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, basically. Yeah. So,
May, may I add something?
yes, of course.
Two short messages, because I didn't have too much time. Like I said, due to technical difficulties. First of all, I would like to express my admiration and respect for a special person from the United States. She supports this channel and this channel in a peculiar manner that shows not only generosity but also respect for people struggling to bring the truth to light when the US government agencies fail miserably.
Yes.
It takes a lot of time, passion, and resources to fight for justice. Like a guardian angel, this special person understood that sometimes during our work, we might become targets for possible judicial retaliation from different vested interests. Uh, so she decided to, let's
Thank
say,
you, Laura.
protect us. And I say, hats off to you, lady. And another message, if you may, something that we didn't talk about before.
That's a beautiful thing to say, Don, about that person. Thank you. I'm very
Yeah.
touched.
Thank you.
I'm very, very touched.
Yes, like I said, she's an angel. Nobody did something so generous, so altruistic, and so she has a great heart. Okay. The last message would be something that, like I said, it was not discussed before.
Thank you, Tabitha.
It is a message to Christopher Watts. I would like to tell him something, and I'm sure that my message will be relayed to him. So take it as a metaphorical dialogue with Christopher. Christopher, Tanya, Dave, and me gathered evidence that nobody had access to so far. We used our time, our money, and sometimes we sacrificed our health, both physically and mentally.
Sometimes it's an understatement.
To see a change for the good in this case. For the victims, not
Thanks,
for
Maria.
you. Not for you. We saw what you are made of. We know now that you are not alone in those murders. You pretend that you have a selective memory when you are confronted with direct questions. In contrast to investigators, we don't need answers from you anymore. We did our homework, and now we know who participated along with you. You knew that your girls will be killed eventually, yet you did nothing to save them. Now you are sitting in prison talking about God and forgiveness. You think that memorizing lengthy passages from the Bible makes you a believer. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. Your only chance to gain an ounce of attention from God is to stand up like a man for the first time in your life and confess what you did at any risk. Not to us, we already know, but first to your parents, then to the rest of the world. If you don't, you live a miserable life in prison, being known like a coward and a monster until eventually you'll get retribution from another inmate. Do you want forgiveness? Then sacrifice yourself. only then God will turn his face to you. The truth will set you free.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And that proves, everybody, we are
Thank you for
unbiased.
that, Don. Thank you so
That
much.
was
I couldn't have
amazing.
said it better.
We are an unbiased mob here. It might appear I'm biased trying to help Chris Watts. No,
No.
I'm trying to get the justice and the truth out there. That's all I'm trying to do.
There is a conspiracy.
There is a lot going on, people. A lot of people are involved in this. And if you don't believe me, just watch this live stream.
Us.
Us, sorry. If you don't believe us, just watch this live stream again. It's mind-blowing.
It is. I don't. I'm speechless. Sorry. I don't even know what to say. Don, thank you so much, because I think that message to Chris himself was appropriate. And yeah, there's nothing more to add. It truly isn't. I mean, yeah, that's all it is.
It has to be said.
It has
It
to be
has.
said, yeah. And I'm
And
also tired of it, that people coming up saying, or you're in it for, you want to free him. No, I don't.
not at all.
He took, if a person, no matter who it is framed or convicted of something he did not do and did not have the strength or the means or the brains or the whatever to defend himself, or is threatened, or whatever it is, it needs to it needs to be addressed, and there needs to be justice. We're a community that help each other and help also people in needs and people who don't have the means like we do, right? So, but he did definitely participate in this. And if you guys remember my message to you, when I said, I think Chris Watts was more involved than we thought he would be. Right? So I'm not saying he's innocent in anything. What I want to find out is if he truly did kill somebody, if he truly did kill his children, if he truly did put them in those tanks. And the evidence we gathered just shows that he might have not. And for some strange reason, he would not speak and claims memory loss. But then if you ask him directly and you use trigger words, he does remember. And it comes out like a machine gun. And he
And
tells
we know
you,
this for a fact. We know that for a fact. We have found a trigger point in him and he has a memory of it. Okay? So we know he has a memory of things.
I personally, I mean, you guys know me. I'm not putting out any theories because it's not easy to backtrack and I debunk myself all the time. But what I personally believe is that he definitely had help. And I also personally believe, and that's my opinion, that he is covering up for more people than only the madam.
Correct.
For whatever reason. And we're working day and night to find out what reason that would be. Is it money? Is it threats? After that timeline, you might get the bigger picture. Because there's so much more to this case. You cannot put it in a 2-hour live stream. It's impossible.
When people try to explain, they try to say to us, Well, why did this happen? How did that happen? I'll tell me your theory. No, I'm sorry. There's 220 videos on my channel. Go and watch them. It's the same as TJ. Sorry. No, I've covered that. This is TJ talking. TJ's got all these videos on her channel. Go and watch them. It's an entire investigation. It just has taken up so much time and so much
Thanks,
hours
Nora.
of all of us doing what we're doing. And we can't put it into a 10-minute answer to type to someone. There are far too many connecting of the dots that take place in this, and it's extremely difficult to put in one sitting. It just cannot be done.
No, it can't. That's why I'm truly sorry. I mean, I'm sitting on 40 slides for a week, so I know it's like many are impatient and sending me messages like, when is part 2 coming out? When is this? When is that? I'm also working, and I'm stressing myself out too, because I want to deliver stuff to you guys, but it takes time, because I don't want to put out misinformation either. So it makes no sense if I find something, put it out there on YouTube, and then after rewatching it, I'm like, oh no, shit, I was wrong. So how do I, backtrack from that?
Mm-hmm.
And this is just not who I am. This is not what I'm doing. Of course, I can put out 25,000 videos a week, but I'm not doing it because I'm not sure that if what I think occurred really occurred, if that makes sense, like with the phone logs and movements and stuff. I did never really put the router logs in comparison to his movements. And this stuff takes time. It's like I have over 17,000 screenshots on my computer. This is just, and I don't even have that many videos. But this is how much time it takes. And I really appreciate you guys' patience, because it is not easy to put it up. And people might think it is easy to put a few pictures up, but in the end, I want to show it so it makes sense, so no questions will be asked after. And that's why I really want you guys to understand what I'm talking about. Sometimes I have difficulty, with the American language, and I know that, but I try my best to explain everything in detail. Yeah. So, like I said, I could not do August the 13th in one go, but it was important to me that I show you at least what went on with his movements on site and on that day. So I'm gonna be putting up Timeline of Death, The Aftermath, Chapter 2, and I will try to get until the 15th, because after that we're gonna dissect the autopsy and the DA's office, because there's also a lot of stuff going on that's not right. So yeah, you can have a little sneak peek, I call it, for what is coming up next. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I will not be doing a live stream next weekend, because I'm in law school from Monday to Thursday, so I'm not at home. I have no time to prepare anything. I'm very, very sorry, but I'll be in school from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And after that, I will be probably very tired. So what I might do is putting up like little premieres in preparation of chapter 2, but there won't be a live stream on the weekend. So this will be the week after, next week, on the weekend, together with Dawn and Dave, of course. because I'll be putting up the detailed timeline Don did on the enhanced footage, and I just have no clue about it. So it is Don's work. So he will answer all your questions you might have regarding the timeline of when he's leaving his house. So what I'll be doing next is we're getting into that timeline, of course, at the house. And we're also dissecting the site Cervi. And of course, Shanann's phone logs. And this is what you are going to be seeing. Just a little sneak peek for everyone. Real quick. Okay.
I think there'll be a lot of people pausing that.
That's okay. I can
Yep.
go through it one more time.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I would also be interested in kind of like, someday if we would do like a theory stream or something where you guys can put out your theories. That would be interesting too. But yeah.
Oh, what have I done?
Tired?
Oh no, just fixing
I'm
my-
grounded. Why? No, I'm not grounded.
Don,
Yeah,
just
this is
quickly,
what
Don, while we're all
my
here
head.
together, thank you for saying what you said about that person who's in the background that's helping the three of us. And should we come into trouble in America, that person will be there for us. It truly touched me. Truly touched my heart hearing you say that. Yeah, she is an amazing person, this person in the background. And thank you, Don, from the bottom of my heart for saying what you did about her.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Uh,
Thank you.
if somebody wants to contact me, you can find on my channel my email address and feel free to ask me interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. I don't have it handy, so I would put it up in
It's
chat.
on in his about section on his channel.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can find his email address right there, and it's.
Thank you, the third Rude. Aw. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So, and something I will say that Tanya and I have been joking about some things, that may well be happening next year with us. We won't be letting anybody know when we're actually going to America. But at the very end of the trip, we'll all be letting you know we're there and this is our last day here. And then we'll be then bringing you everything.
Us walking back into the plane. We were there.
We were there. We were there. That's right. Okay. But that is how we will be doing it next year. So stay tuned for that. There's a lot more to come. A lot of video footage that we will be releasing ourselves, and who knows who we might get to pop into and run into in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Also,
for
Steve
everybody to
offered
see.
this morning that he is going to be digging that hole for us.
And we're going to try to do everything we
See
can
how
to get
long it takes.
permission of Mr. Cervi to see if we can get permission to actually enter the site. Since it's no longer an active oil site in any way, I can't really see it being too much of a problem.
Oh no, and the Cervi family is said to be very, very, open.
Receptive to things, yes.
Yep.
Am I going to Avada? I'm not a stalker. All right, that I can assure you.
All right, you guys. So, not stealing any more of your time on
Yeah.
Halloween. To me, it's over. I got to get up in 7 hours, sitting on a train in 8. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being kind and respectful in chat. I have not seen anyone, dancing out of the lane. Thank you for everything you do to my moderators. I truly, really appreciate it. And I would be effed, like Dave would say, without you guys. Yeah, we're going to the Safeway parking lot, of course. Thank you so much, Reese. Couldn't listen. Yeah. Thank you so much, Reese. Just catch up. It's a lot of information you will be getting. And yeah, thank you, Dave, for being here, supporting me. And thank you, Don, for your great work and also being here supporting me with this timeline. And yeah, what else is there to add? Hope you guys have a good week. Nice week. Stay out of drama. Stay out of trouble. Be nice. And yeah, don't eat so much candy. Jordan said today, my son, he said he got so much candy, trick or treating. We went and he's got like a whole bag full. And he said to me, Mom, I'm gonna eat one candy bar a day. And when I'm finished, it's 2025. And I'm like, yeah, that might be true. Right? So, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone, for everything you're doing. And just stay true and real to yourself. Be yourself always, no matter what. Leave Jim alone. No. We haven't even started yet with him.
The myth, the man, Jim.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's some interesting stuff coming up on regarding her phone logs. Then you see a change of behavior of their friendship. You can see that.
Yes.
But yeah, we're getting there, definitely. All right, you guys, I'm gonna be off to bed. If you and Dave and Don just stay on for a minute.
Yeah, no worries.
I love you all. Like I said, have a great week. Have a great rest of your Sunday and Halloween. Yeah,
Thanks,
just
everyone.
stay
Stay safe. Good night.
true and be yourself. That's all I'm saying. Alrighty.
Au
Good night,
revoir.
guys. Love you all. See you in the week
Cheers.
after next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.